are going KUCB Radio right here at Des Moines, Iowa. This is another segment that we're bringing to you live once again right here on KUCB Radio. Let us not forget our motto is truth is the wealth of freedom, and we communicate to educate and organize. And we always, as we always like to do, we like to give you a little background information about radio station KUCB. Um, we were founded in 1981, 82 by the founders, Miss Joanne Cheatham and Brother Charles Knox. And we had about 60, maybe 65 volunteers. We were on the air for 24 hours. And we really never really signed off unless it was some technical problems or something to do with the weather. Our signal would carry us all the way to Ames, Iowa, which is about 30 miles from Des Moines. Sometime we would even, the signal would always even go to Iowa City, which is about 100 miles east from Des Moines. So we had a pretty good signal. Like I said, depending on the weather, maybe a clear night, the signal would carry, quite a ways. Maybe a night that it was cold, the temperature was maybe below the signal, depending on, the weather, as I said, may not reach that far. But most times we were able to, the signal was able to reach out. As I said, this is KUCB Radio, and we are here live with you doing a live, kind of a short broadcast. We won't be too long, won't take too much of your time. But we just felt there's a need to bring you this live broadcast. I had the honor and pleasure of working with Sister Hada Shah Marion. We was on KUCB for about 20 years. We did the International Found Call Hour, which was hosted on Saturday. And we also did a show called the African Liberation Hour. We did that Monday through Thursday. Sometimes she would host it, sometimes I would host it. So once again, I had the pleasure and honor of working with Sister Hada Shah Marion. Not only we do so much work on KUCB Radio, but we did so much work in the community, and that was really special to me that we got a chance to do that much work on KUCB Radio, also in the community. So after we lost the license in the late 90s, we decided that we would go to social media, where you find us now, and alhamdulillah, the listening audience is much wider. We're able to reach so many people in a short time. So we decided we would try this. Once again, KUCB Radio, our motto is truth is the wealth of freedom, and we communicate to educate and organize. And this is this segment, we entitled this, Why So Many Black Girls Are Still Missing. We just simply raise the question: what's happening with the fact that so many black girls are missing? That's our discussion on this short video. Now, as we kind of go through some of the scenarios that I'm going to be mentioning some of this to you about the people that people are missing, things are happening across the country. We want to mention that. And so we ask you to kind of bear with us, as we go through this about the different people that are missing and stuff and what's going on with that. And so we'll just taking care of something here. We're going to go ahead and just kind of get started here in this whole this segment. One of the things that we see happening is in the Chicago area. And I don't know, Allah knows best. I don't know what's happening in the Chicago area. I don't know what's happening with the people there. But we are seeing an increase in so many black girls and even black boys that are missing in the Chicago area. Somebody please help me with this. If you watch this video, if you catch this video, pass it on. What is going on in the Chicago area? There are so many black girls and black boys are missing. For example, August the 20th, it was reported by the Fox 32 News, a young black girl, 15 years of age, was last seen June 22nd in the 1330 100 block Legale Avenue in Chicago. She was last seen June 22nd. And she's missing, 15-year-old girl. July the 21st, 2019, this is a young black girl that's missing. This is up in around the Hamilton, Virginia area. She was last seen in the Buck Road area of Hamilton, Virginia. Once again, August the 2nd, reported by Fox 32 News in Chicago area, 13-year-old girl missing in the Chicago area. A 12-year-old girl missing last seen in Big Lot parking lot. This is Parkville. This is some other area, Parkville, Illinois. Young black girl, 13 years of age, missing from the Houston, Texas area. August 14th, a young black girl, 10 years of age, a black girl in the Baltimore County area, missing. And August 20th, this just caught this August 20th, a missing young girl. Police are looking for a missing young black girl, 14 years of age, in the Detroit area. So the question I have to raise in a serious note, what is happening in the black community? What is happening in the country where you're having so many young black girls who are missing? And don't tell me all of these girls are running away from home. I know that's usually the first thing that we usually say, that they run away from home. That may be in some cases. In a lot of these cases, is not. So what is going on with so many black girls that are missing all across the country? In certain places we see there are more black girls missing. I did a story back some 2 or 3 months ago. I did a show where in a town called Berkeley, Missouri, a town north of St. Louis, since 2000, 33 girls have went missing there. Out of the 33, 12 of those are black girls, just like they just vanish. I know sex trafficking is real big right now. It's all across the country. And girls and women are even being snatched up, being held, being put into sex trafficking. I know this is a big thing. I know it's going on. We've been seeing stories and hearing stories about body parts when black families are getting the bodies back from their kids, girls and boys. The body parts are being consumed. Body parts are missing from their bodies. I know this is a big thing because the black market, organs are big time money on the black market now. So I know this is going on this big. But I simply raise the question to the black community: what is going on in the Chicago area? Somebody please pass this on to the people in Chicago. What's going on there? I know Chicago is a big city, but there's a lot of young black girls who are missing in the Chicago area. Lots of young black women who are missing in the Chicago area. Some of them have been found murdered, but some of them are still missing. And so one of the things that we see happening, and we're not ruling it out, that it's not happening. We see situations where we're hearing situations as we talk to people across the country So many of these police departments are being infiltrated by the white supremacist groups, and it's possible they could be carrying some of these operations out. White supremacist members who have infiltrated into these police departments across the country. We also see in the Chicago area, we've seen situations where we have seen people put on a mask, make a mask up, and they can be white, they can be white men, be members of hate groups or just whatever, making a mask up and putting a mask on as a makeup, but making it look like it's black, making the mask look like it's dark skin, it's a black man that's doing this. So we see all this kind of stuff going on. And the question I simply ask the people in Chicago, what's happening with so many black girls and black women who are disappearing, who are being abducted, or whatever's happening in the Chicago area? And see, this is a situation where people they should be more watchful. They should watch out for each other. But there's so much discontent in these cities and what's going on, especially when you get to the black community. We have so much animosity towards each other that these kind of things are going right on in our areas, in our community, and we don't misread it, we don't see it, we don't notice it. And because we got so much riffraff, so much beef going on with somebody else, until we don't see this as being essentially important. Anytime in a society, in a community, when you have the women, you have girls, and you have children that's being snatched up, it's a serious piece, y'all. It's real serious. And so I'm saying once again, this show is mainly directed to those people in those cities, wherever you may be. What is happening with black girls and black boys and black women being abducted? And nobody seems like they paying it any attention. Nobody's talking about it. All of these shows that I see on all across the country, all the shows I see, all the spiritual leaders I see, why is nobody not addressing this problem, which it is, that's going on across the country? The problem of abduction of black men, black boys, black women, black girls. It's a serious problem. And you know what I'm seeing? I'm not seeing a decrease, I'm seeing an increase. Every time I look up and check the news, somebody has been abducted across the country. It could be in Detroit, it could be in Baltimore, it could be in Chicago, it could be in Las Vegas, it could be in St. Louis. It's happening all across the country. I saw in Birmingham, Alabama, different places it's happening. See? And so why these people are slowly but surely abducting black men, black boys, black women, black girls, and we so busy doing some of the crazy Shanikin stuff that we be doing, this is happening right up under our nose, and we ain't even paying any attention. We ain't even, not only ain't even paying attention, we ain't even saying nothing about it. See, but you know, when you go to beefing with somebody, I guess beefing with somebody or getting revenge with somebody, now it happens to be more important that you caring and being concerned about black men, black women, black girls, and black boys being abducted. And as I say, it's sex trafficking is big business now. Across the country, it's big business because we see it going on all the time. We know in some of these cases that's what it could be. Some of these cases where they found boys, they found men, they found women, they found girls where they've been lynched, where they've been hung, where they've been shot, where they've been beat, some body parts are missing from their body, all kind of things that are going on. See? These are things that we should be concerned about. We should be concerned about. Once again, this is KUCB Radio. I want to bring you this broadcast. It is simply entitled, What's Happening? Black Women and Black Girls Are Still Missing. You know, and it's like I said, we see the numbers not decreasing. We see the numbers increasing. I went through in my notes, we had a young girl in Detroit. This is August 20th. A young black girl, police reported they're looking for a young 14-year-old black girl in the Detroit area that's missing. Now, here's the other thing too. I want to say to people out there, to parents, to family members, to relatives, whatever. To me, it doesn't make any sense to let your girl or let your boy go running off somewhere by themselves. In this day and time, this is the other part of us and our thinking. In this day and time, with all the things that are going on, with all the things that are going on, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, why would you let your child go off walking somewhere in this day and age? Why? Girl or boy, why would you let them go off walking somewhere if they go going to the park? They could be going to the store. See, that to me does not make any kind of sense. I saw a situation where um, some family members let their kids go knocking on doors trying to collect money, and the lady ended up pulling a gun on black kids, some young black kids, and the lady ended up putting a gun, forcing them in the house. Why in your right mind in this day and age, in this time, would you let your child, boy or girl, go knocking on door to door, walking off, going to the store, going to the park? Why would you let them go by themselves like that in this day and age with all the things that are going on? Why? Why in your right mind? What would you make you do that? See? And this is the laxation on our part, that we get so lax, we don't check on things like this. We don't want have somebody to walk the store with that boy or girl. It doesn't make no difference because they 12 or 13 years old, 14 or 15 years old. That don't make any difference. See, they're not an adult. They're still a child. They still a child. And walking to the store, walking around the corner, walking to the park, going knocking on door to door. That is the most craziest thing I ever heard of. I'm going to say it again. With all the things that are going on, why would you put your child in a situation like that and be letting them go somewhere like that by themselves? You can't do it, y'all. My point is, you cannot do it in this day and time. We have to stop being so naive and so relaxed about things. The signs are there are too many things that are happening. Too much stuff is going on. So you don't put yourself in those situations. You don't put a child. You don't put a girl or a boy. It don't make no difference how big they may be in size. Common sense will tell you you can't do that kind of stuff in this day and time that we living in. You can't. You cannot do it. You can do it, but then you may regret it, because most likely they can get snatched up, they can get abducted, they can get kidnapped, they can get grabbed. Anything can happen to them. Just a short walk to the store, just a short walk around the corner. See, going to somebody's friend's house, going to the park. You can't do that kind of stuff. You cannot do it. We don't live in a society where you can do it. Now you can do it and be naive and thinking that your child can go and ain't nothing gonna happen. That's a foolish way of thinking. I'll tell anyone that is a foolish, ridiculous way of thinking in this day and time that we living in. Allah knows if we were living in another time period and there wasn't so much crazy stuff going on, there wasn't so much racism and so many people carrying out racist acts, I could say, okay, maybe you could do that. But we are not. I repeat myself again, we are not living in that day and time. We are living in a time where people should be on aware of their surroundings all the time. Kids and young people should be aware of their surroundings all the time, which means in normal situations you might could do things. We're not in a normal situation now. We're not in a normal state now because there's too much stuff that are going on. Injustices all over the place, all around us. And the signs of that, look at the things that are happening. These are the signs. The signs when Allah reveal certain things to us and show us and give us signs, that ought to be enough. We shouldn't be fool enough to try to go against that. I think that we can just let our kids walk off. We want to let them grow up. Want to see how make them grow up quick or grow up fast. Because some people think that way. Some people have the stupid ideas where they want to let their child go walk to the store, go walk around the corner, or go to the park or something because we want to help them, let them grow up and mature. That is the most craziest, ridiculous thing I ever heard of. You don't let, there's other ways that you can let your child grow up, experiencing growing up, or seeing them mature than putting their life in danger. There's other ways that you can do that. You don't put your child's life in danger, but trying to teach them how to grow up by letting them walk to the store, by letting them go to the park, by letting them go somewhere. And you know we're not living in a normal situation. It'd be risky and it'd be dangerous. Why would you do that? See, trying to teach them how to grow up. That's a stupid way of trying to teach a child how to grow up. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any even any sense. Doesn't make any common sense. So I'm saying once again, we have a serious, serious situation that's going on with black girls, black women, black men, and black boys. And mainly in the Chicago area, where there's a large number of black girls and black boys who are missing, who are still missing, who are unaccounted for. See, sex trafficking is big in the Midwest, all across the country, and we have to be aware of that. So once again, KUCB Radio, where our motto is we communicate to educate and organize. And inshallah, if it's Allah's will, we'll continue to bring you these videos, try to bring you, get the live message to you. And we just continue, inshallah, try to bring them to you. That's our main thing.